Thank you. I feel like Obama with these teleprompters up here. A little joke for the conservatives in the audience, but don't get too comfortable. First, I'd like to thank my editor, Jeff Cohen. A few years ago, he asked me to reinvent the role of a staff editorial cartoonist in the newspaper. Now, a lot of newspapers are reinventing the role of a staff cartoonist by eliminating them. So I feel very thankful that I've got one that still believes in what I do. Second, I'd like to thank Rick Perry, governor of Texas, for providing me so much fodder over the last year. And third, I can't remember the third. I'm sorry, I can't let it go. I'm still in mourning that he's not running anymore. Now, one of the ways that Jeff has inspired me to do some different things, I do full-page cartoons, and I do some animations. And a lot of cartoonists are getting into flash animation, and I decided I was a little too lazy to learn how to do that. I decided to go retro and get into claymation this past year when my son brought home clay, and he said he wanted to learn how to do this, and I started helping him. I thought, this is pretty fun. I could try this. And I found that I can get them done pretty quickly. And I've got this first one that is on Rick Perry, as a matter of fact. And so can we take the lights down and show the first animation?
You know, we've all lost our train of thought before, but not many have done it on national TV. Now, if you want a slick debater, I'm obviously not your guy. But if you want a clean house in Washington with a balanced budget amendment, a flat tax, and a part-time Congress, I'm your man. I'm Rick Perry. What's that line again? I'm Rick Perry, and I approve of this message.
Thanks. Incidentally, from beginning to end, that was just one day, so I can crank these out pretty quickly. Although I tell Jeff it takes me a week, so I take a week off. I've got a dozen cartoons as well to show you tonight, still cartoons. With campaign season in full swing, seems like earlier on there was the new flavor of the week every week. And so this first cartoon, it's a good thing you finished eating, but go ahead and show the first slide. The flavor of the week, the next flavor of the week was Newt. Now the number of GOP debates has also there's been like 20 GOP debates. And like we needed another one, Donald Trump wanted to have his own, as if we needed another one. Now, of course, the main issue we were going to talk about was Donald Trump, I'm sure. So here's the Trump debate. Now, first I depicted Gingrich as a newt. Now, moving on to Mitt Romney, the knock on Romney is that he's a chameleon. He's a bit of a chameleon. So here I have in this next slide, go ahead and show the next slide. The first guy's saying, it seems like voters want anyone but Mitt, and Mitt says, I could be that. Now, sex scandals for a cartoonist are always really challenging because the jokes are easy, but most of them are unpublishable. So, and that's where my editor comes in. He likes to kill my cartoons when I do inappropriate ones, and I do. So when Anthony Weiner, here's my Anthony Weiner cartoon, Twitter trouble, it says. Incidentally, I think that was my favorite cartoon last year, which shows you where my maturity level is. Now, the next cartoon is a little bit more cerebral. Of course, about anything is a little bit more cerebral than this, but this is first frame says federal spending, Social Security defense, et cetera, and then the second frame, federal spending as viewed by the average American, things that benefit me personally, and then waste is everything else. Thank you. Most people, when you talk to them, really don't know what government spending really is. Where am I? Okay, the Tea Party has been a big theme for cartoonists. Here's the Tea Party driving us into the Tea Party congressman driving us into the debt ceiling issue. Now, I do pick on Obama sometimes, and I'm going to show you both cartoons I did on Obama last year. No, actually I did more, but not very many more. So the first one is on Solyndra. I'll go ahead and show the slide. It says, shovel ready. Taxpayers cleaning up the Solyndra mini scandal. And Obama has a penchant for pushing difficult issues off into the future. Go ahead and show the next slide. We constructed this pipeline to push difficult issues out past the 2012 election. It's the Keystone XL pipeline. It was popular in Houston, too. Most of my cartoons aren't very popular in Houston. Can't imagine why. Social issues. We can't ignore social issues, and the death penalty is a very big issue in Texas, as you know. We execute people for not using their turn signals in Texas, so be careful when you're driving there. Here, the Texas justice system is saying, raise your hand if you think race played a part in your death sentence. And there's another Texas one that is going to ring true for those of you who've been following. What's the other thing in my uterus? The state of Texas. This will ring pretty true to you right now, because you could substitute the word Virginia for Texas right now. Here's an old cartoon that we republished on the 10th anniversary of September 11th. It says Missing Towers, and it's a little more subtle. You can see the shadows of the people who did not come home on September 11th. I did a cartoon on the 10-year anniversary, but it wasn't as good as this, so we reran one. This is the one I did on the first anniversary, but we reran it again this past year. Now, to lighten the mood a little bit, I've got this last cartoon is the raid on bin Laden's compound, and they found a stash of pornography, and he says, know your enemy. And the little movies say Debbie Does Dubai, Tora Bora Scora, and Blonde Bombshell. And I've got one more animation to show you. This one is, Herman Cain was probably even more fun than Rick Perry. Herman Cain was the former CEO of Godfather's Pizza, and I brainstormed how to pull this together when he was making excuses about his alleged affairs, and I spent about 8 hours going through all of the video footage and splicing little pieces of it together, and I came up with this animation.
I can only recall one thing that I was aware of that was called sexual harassment. I wasn't even aware of it. I am unaware of any sort of settlement.
I was aware that an agreement was reached. And yes, there was some sort of settlement or termination. No, I just started to remember more.
Got all this stuff twirling around in my head.
Here we go again. This individual is going to accuse me of an affair for an extended period of time. No, not going to do that. No, no. No.
You're the same height as my wife.
Thank you very much.
I couldn't if I tried.